Hello all my otaku friends, my name is Profitaku and welcome back to my channel for my May manga haul. It was a pretty modest month this month. I got a little over 50 volumes, but a ton of new series that I'm super excited to show you. But before we get started today, we have a giveaway alert courtesy of our good friends over at Yen Press. We have Villains Are Destined to Die Volume 3 as well as Shadow's House Volume 3. So if you're a US resident and you'd like to know how to enter the giveaway for these two amazing volumes of some of my most favorite ongoing series, make sure you stick around to the end of the video. This first section here is going to dive into all the smaller trim size new manga series that I picked up this month. First up is a really interesting one that I didn't think I was going to pick up, and that is Welcome to Demon School Iruma-Kun. This is a vertical release that I knew nothing about, but the only reason why I picked it up to give it a 1-volume try was because this is a beloved series. A lot of people were wanting this to be published in English, and it did, but it also has really high ratings, so you know what, let's give it a shot. The story follows a boy who gets sold off to a demon and he starts attending demon school, but of course he's a human. All the demons want to eat him, so he's trying to keep that a secret. The artwork looks fantastic. It reminds me a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. Next up is a volume 1 from the same mangaka who does Spy X Family, Endo Sensei, and that is Tista. This is only a 2-volume series, more darker theme set in New York City with this girl who's fighting against the criminal underground. Super interesting. I cannot wait to get into this one. I love Endo Sensei, I love Spy Family, so I think I'm gonna like this one. Next up is one I'm super excited about, and that is Love's in Sight Volume 1. This seems super hilarious. It follows this delinquent boy and this girl who has a vision impairment, so she can't actually see him, and then they get into a romantic relationship. Surprisingly, this is only 8 volumes long. I love a concise rom-com story, so this one is high on my read list. Next up here is a Boys Love one-shot put onto my radar by Tsukino. She talked very highly of this series, and that is called The Two Lions. I really like the premise of this. It's an older setting, 2 guys in college. In high school they were friends, but one was a delinquent and one was really friendly. They rekindle their friendship in college, but could it be something more? A very impressive release by 7 Seas, super glossy pages. I like the simplistic art style, so I cannot wait to get into this one, and it's all in one, which is always a plus. Next up here is a highly anticipated volume 1 from 7 Seas, and that is My Girlfriend's Child. This drama series follows this teenage couple right here. The girl finds out she's pregnant and they navigate this new life together. I heard that this manga was fantastic and it does a great job in painting this scenario in a really respectful way. I can really appreciate that type of storytelling. And last up here is a new series from the creator of Full Metal Alchemist. We have Demons of the Shadow Realm. This is a Square Enix release, surprisingly. I know nothing of the series, but it is Arakawa Sensei, so of course I'm gonna pick it up. I have a sad confession to make. I have ingested Arakawa's series, but only as anime. I have not read any of her manga, so I'm really doing a disservice to her. I need to get on this right away. This next section here are going to be all the smaller trim ongoing manga series that I picked up this month. First up here we have Sakamoto Days Volume 7. I don't like Battle Shonen that much, but I do love Sakamoto Days and I will continue to pick this up. Next up is one of the most unique Shonen Jump manga out there right now, and one of my favorites as well, and that is Dr. Stone Volume 25. We're on the final arc here. Volume 26 finishes this thing off, I think, so I think I'm just gonna wait for the last volume and then binge 24, 25, and 26. Next up are 2 volumes of a romance sports series. We have Blue Box Volume 3 and Volume 4. I very much enjoyed the first volume. I really enjoyed the Batman aspect, and I really like the relationship between our main characters, so I cannot wait to see where this one goes. Next up from Kodansha, we have A Condition Called Love Volume 2. A lot of people didn't like Volume 1. They don't like the vibe with the main characters. I actually like it a lot. I think it works well. I don't have a problem like a lot of people with the male MC, and of course you have the female MC who's just discovering love for the first time. Yeah, it's kind of cookie cutter in terms of romance, high school type of things, but I'm just taking it 1 volume at a time. Next up is one of my most underrated manga series from 2022. We have Crossplay Love Otaku X Punk Volume 4. This manga continues to crack me up with its hilarious premise, and I cannot recommend it enough for any of you who are looking for a different rom-com series. Next up here is from one of my favorite mangakas of all time, Satoshi Mizukami, same mangaka as Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. In Spirit Circle, we have World End Solte Volume 2. This story is definitely out there, and I wasn't as invested in this Volume 1 as I was with his other series, but of course it's Mizukami. He has great world building potential, so I will give Volume 2 a try. I just have so much hope for this series. Next up is a Battle Shonen manga that I just have a ton of fun with, and that is Mission Yozakura Family Volume 4. I think the reason why I just love this series so much are the cast of characters. I think they're super fun. I think they work well together, and I love the power system, so yeah, this is one I'm going to continue to read. Next up is one of the most out there Shonen Jump manga that I've ever read, and that is Dan Da Dan Volume 3. I read Volume 1, I was like, what the hell is this? Now I'm backlogged by 2 volumes, so I'm going to read 2 and 3 together, and hopefully I'll get the same random wacky messed up stuff that I got in volume 1. Next up is a big chunk here. We have volumes 3 to 7 of Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. This is a rom-com Shonen Jump series. 11 volumes actually. I really like that. It's concise just like Love's in Sight, but this is an absolutely hilarious manga. I love the premise. I think that the two main characters work great together, and though it's a slice of life episodic manga, all of the chapters are super interesting. It kept my interest and it made me laugh the whole time, so yes, I decided to just go all for it and get up to date with this. Next up is the manga with the biggest mic drop. We have Blood on the Tracks volume 13. Now if you have not picked up Blood on the Tracks by Shuzo Oshimi, this is a perfect time to pick it up. Volumes 1 to 12 encompass the prologue of this story, believe it or not, which is absolutely insane. So volume 13 starts the new arc, and oh my goodness, I just cannot wait to see what Shuzo Oshimi comes up with this messed up mother-son drama thriller. And last up in this section, we have Fire Force volume 32. We're almost done with this series at 34 volumes. We're in the last arc. Seems like this arc has just gone on forever, so I am 3 volumes behind in this, so I will just go ahead and binge these next 3 volumes. This next section is going to dive into all the oversized new manga series that I picked up this month. First up, from my YouTube Shorts Books A Million haul, we have Azumi-chan is Interested in Lesbian Brothels volume 1 and volume 2. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. It's lesbian brothels, it's ecchi, but it is super wholesome, and I thoroughly enjoyed this read. Next up is a Boys Love one-shot that Tony Reed's manga put on my radar, and I was super intrigued by it, and that is Until I Meet My Husband, the manga adaptation. The original source material of this was an autobiographical novel of collected essays from Nanosaki sensei. Just like the 2 Lion 7 Seas did a great job with this publication. Yes, it's a little bit more pricey, but you do get the glossy white paper in this oversized trim, so I really appreciate what they did with this adaptation. This one also has a really high rating on my anime list. I've been really loving autobiographical manga lately, so I cannot wait to get into this one. And last up in this section are volumes 1, 3, and 4 of Kinoro Mosaic. So this finally completes my set. I have not started this yet. Obviously, it follows a group of girls. 2 of them are from England, and then the rest are Japanese. Slice of life, 4 coma. They just do things together. Sounds right up my alley. I cannot wait to get into this one. This next section is going to be all the oversized ongoing manga volumes that I picked up this month. First up here is volume 3 of Shonen Note Boy Soprano. I absolutely love these covers. But this is a musical coming of age story following a boy who's in the choir club as his voice changes in puberty. Volume 2 was it took a direction I didn't really like, so hopefully volume 3 gets back to the main thing being the main thing. Next up is volume 4 of a manga that I reviewed like 2 years ago on a First Impressions. I absolutely love it, and I still love it to this day, and that is Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan. If you're just struggling with the toils of the 9 to 5 and all your dreams being crushed, and you just want a manga that exemplifies that, then this is the one for you. Next up here from Kodansha is volume 3 of In the Clear Moonlit Dusk. This is from Mika Yamamori. This is the same creator as Daytime Shooting Star and Tsubaki-cho Lonely Planet. I absolutely love those 2 series, so I cannot wait to get into this one. And last up in this section, I finally got up to date with Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt volume 19. All I'm missing is volume 4. Come on, Viz, you guys need to reprint volume 4. So many people are missing it. But yeah, I absolutely love Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. Let me tell you, there is a steep learning curve with this though. Volumes 1 to 6 are really confusing, so you really got to pay attention. But if you do, you will be rewarded with a phenomenal story. The rest of this manga haul are all volumes gifted to me from Right Stuff Anime and Yen Press for review purposes. I very much appreciate Omar, Callista, and the teams over at Right Stuff and Yen Press for continuing to support this channel and allowing me to review their manga. First up here from Right Stuff Anime is volume 1 of Dark Gathering. This is a Shonen Jump series. As many of you know, this type of manga is not my cup of tea, but it is a Shonen Jump series, so I do still have high expectations for this. Expect this on a Should You Read Sunday review video. Alright, the rest of these are from Yen Press. First up here we have Yokohama Station volume 1. This is a 3-volume dystopian manga that follows this guy who lives in this village underground, and there's some monster going around Japan and eating more of the landmass. I'm an absolute sucker for dystopian manga. I think the character design is super interesting, so I have very high expectations for this. Next up is a manga series that everyone is talking about and everybody's picking up, and that is Oshinoko volume 2. I absolutely love volume 1. I cannot wait to see where this one goes. And look at Ruby on the cover. Isn't she so cute? I just want her to achieve her dreams. Next up is probably one of my most anticipated final volumes this year. We have Horimiya volume 16. I've actually already read this volume and did a whole YouTube short saying my no spoiler thoughts on the final volume, so I highly recommend you check it out. But let me just say I was wrong from my review that I did 2 years ago. Next up, here's another romance series, Me and My Beast Boss volume 1. It just seems super cute. I've really been enjoying the romance genre as of late. You have this human girl who starts to work as a secretary for this lion CEO, and it's a furry. But this just seems super wholesome, super cute. I love flipping through it and seeing all the amazing art in it. I do have high expectations for this one as well. Next up here is a new volume 1 called Manner of Death. This is a boys love mystery thriller series. This is a super thick volume, so you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, and it's only 2 volumes long, so not a hefty investment. But like you saw at the early part of this haul, I'm really trying to get more into boys love series, and this is a different boys love series, which I'm really excited about. Next up here is a volume 1 of a series I cannot stop talking about. I love the light novel, and this is the manga adaptation. This is Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon. If you are looking for just the dumbest isekai out there that is super funny, the power system is great, super immersive world, and you just want to turn your brain off, Reborn as a Vending Machine is totally going to check all those boxes. Next up here is a new volume 1, My Dear Curse Casting Vampirus. Vampirus? This is a total cover request for me. This was in their list of manga that I could request, and I saw the cover. I was like, you know what? This looks super intriguing. Here we are with one of the most popular boys love series out there. We have Sasaki and Miyano volume 8. I have not started this series yet, and I need to get on it because this is a totally wholesome series, and I love wholesome romance. Next up here is a manga that everybody is talking about on Mangagram. Super excited about it. Hi, I'm a witch, and my crush wants me to make a love potion. What a lot of people were telling me was that this is very similar to a Savior's Book Cafe story in another world. I just need to find volume 1 and then I can start this series. But this looks like a super interesting fantasy romance series right up my alley. Last up here in the small trim size, we have Bungo Stray Dogs Dead Apple volume 3. This should finish the movie adaptation of Dead Apple, so this finishes another Bungo Stray Dogs side series. I need to get back on Bungo Stray Dogs. I think I stopped at like volume 9. It's been like 3 or 4 months. I need to start reading it again. Next up here is a totally underrated volume 1, and that is Magical Girl Incident. I highly recommend you check this out. I did a whole YouTube short about it, just telling my first impressions on the manga. Here we are with a thick boy here. This is volumes 1 to 3 in a complete omnibus edition, a reprint of the out of print singles, but this is from Madoka Magica, and that is Suzuna Magica. So this series is set in the Madoka magical world, but it does not have any of our main cast of characters, but it follows these magical girls doing magical girl things, and then you have a magical girl assassin. Next up here is a light novel series, Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki's Conjecture Folklore Studies. I basically got it because it said Associate Professor on there, and I was like, oh, that's me. But this basically follows a guy going around studying folklore. Seems super interesting. I love unique premises. This is definitely one of them. Next up is a manhwa from Eyes Press. Everybody's been talking about it as one of the heavy hitter manhwas out there, and that is A Business Proposal. I know nothing of this series, but a lot of people have been saying this is phenomenal, so I cannot wait to check it out. Next up is one of the first manhwa I ever physically read, and that is Villains Are Destined to Die volume 3. I absolutely love volume 1. I did a first impressions of volume 1. I've never even heard of an Otome game until I read this manhwa, and I totally fell in love with it. Very interesting characters, lots of fun political stuff going on, a great vibe from our main character. Highly recommend. Here you are with volume 9 of one of my favorite light novels out there, and that is Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, so I'll max out my defense. This is such a total turn your brain off story. I love Maple with her shield and her maxed out defense. It makes for a very, very funny story with very interesting cast of characters around her, many different skill sets. It's a great story in an even better time. Here's another light novel series. You have Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian. It follows a Russian girl who's in the classroom and she speaks in Russian under her breath to all the students around her, but she doesn't know that the boy sitting next to her also knows Russian, so he understands everything that she says. I have not read volume 1 yet, which I really need to do so I can get into volumes 2 and 3. Here are one of Yen Press's most successful titles, and that is Kakaguri Volume 16. I have read the first 4 volumes of this gambling manga and I thoroughly enjoyed it. High stakes, really dark characters, really interesting premise with the political system at this school with all the gambling. Highly recommended if you want something to keep you on your toes. And last but not least, we have a new Volume 1 light novel series. We have Maiden of the Needle. From what I heard, this is very similar to like Ascendance of a Bookworm, but with like knitting and stitching and stuff like that. So if that sounds up your alley, then definitely check this light novel out. There is a manga adaptation to this series, but it's very low rated on my anime list, so I would say proceed with caution. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about how you can enter this giveaway. Number 1, make sure you like that video. Number 2, make sure you tap that subscribe button. You have to be subscribed to the channel. And number 3, leave a comment down below with the hashtag YP giveaway. Just tell me, what is your favorite ongoing series, either from Yen Press or one that you're currently reading from a different publisher. That is it for my May manga haul. I hope you enjoyed it and you find some new things that you can pick up for yourself. As always, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you hit that like button, tap the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you know when more of my videos come out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.